Hey everyone, I'm not exactly sure in what form this video is going to take because I haven't really got anything written down like I usually do, and I've only got a somewhat rough idea of what I want to talk about. And as you can see from the title, it's going to be about VenomFangX. Now I know a lot of people have different opinions on what to do with VenomFangX. I know a lot of people ignore him because he did come back in recent months and he doesn't really have any different arguments. They're all variations on themes that he's been talking about for years now, and I don't begrudge anybody's opinion on what to do with him, but I feel with what he's said and things that I've seen in his recent videos, I really do feel like I have to say something because it's to do with a issue that is very dear and personal to me. First off, it really does take a lot to piss me off. If you've been watching my videos for any sort of length of time, you know that I'm a very subdued, somewhat, some people may even say unemotional. But I do get angry, but I just have a very high level of tolerance, I guess. You really do have to go above and beyond to piss me off. The only comments I've ever deleted in any of my videos have been from spam that say, hey, you want to increase your views, go to www.shitwebsite.com, and from users that I know are trolls, like when the person who's been hounding all babies are atheists leave stupid fucking channel comments. I just delete them. I have no problem with that at all. But anything that's insultive to me or criticizes any of my positions, I keep up, and you can go and have a look, because on some of the videos I've done with like the BNP and TFL, and if I talk about anything to do with Islam, there are a lot of people there that just completely just have nothing to say but insultive comments directed at me, and I let them go. They don't bother me, so I have no need to delete them. And I've never blocked anyone either. I've gotten close once with someone who just kept on saying just stupid shit, nothing really offensive, but really annoying, because he kept on doing it again and again and again. But I still didn't block that person, and so I've never blocked anyone, because as I said, you have to really push me to piss me off and to offend me, and VenomFangX has done this. It's something that I've seen a lot in theists have done before, and it's to do with the topic of depression. In the video that VenomFangX did to Thunderfoot recently, he talks about how he's seen a lot of atheists with depression, and he talks about some of his own dalliances with depression. I say dalliances because I really can't take anything that VenomFangX says as true, because he's lied so many times that I really have no idea what he believes or what's true when it comes to him. And he talks about some of his allegedly some of his own experiences, how he was depressed when he was an atheist, how he sees a lot of YouTube atheists are depressed because they sound it. I don't know what a depressed person sounds like. A lot of people are very good at hiding it. And he talks about how he was depressed when he was an atheist, and allegedly shows us marks on his wrist where he used to harm himself, and he says now that he's with God, he has meaning and purpose again in his life, and it's everything is just coming up roses for him. He has demonstrated such a lack of knowledge on every single subject that it really should surprise anyone how far off he is from the truth on this one. There is absolutely no correlation between whatever God you believe in and depression. Okay, I am an atheist. I have depression, but it has absolutely the two have nothing to do with each other. They're completely mutually exclusive. The warning signs of depression started when I was a kid, and I only really started calling myself an atheist, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. I'm 28 now. Whatever your stance is on God, whatever religious or irreligious belief you hold, has nothing to do with whether you're going to be depressed or not. It's just a classic case of projection from VenomFangX. Just because he was depressed as an atheist, that means that automatically all atheists are going to be depressed, and it's just completely fucking bullshit. You may have been hopelessly lost when you were an atheist, and you may feel happy because you found God now. Good for you. But don't fucking say that you know, atheist is just atheism is just some sort of, you know, giant voidless black hole from which you can only escape through fucking Jesus Christ. All right, depression is a very real mental illness, and you do everyone who suffers from depression a disservice by implying that all they need is God or something like that. It's quite funny that you uploaded a video not that long ago in which you're talking to a group of Christians, and you have one of the members of the group talking about how he's suffered from depression for a number of years. I mean, why is that? I mean, he's a Christian, he knows God, apparently he knows some sort of truth that atheists and other religious believers don't, so why is he depressed? I mean, he knows that God has a plan for him, God thinks he's very special. If he's accepted Jesus Christ as his Lord and Saviour, after he dies he's going to spend eternity with an all-loving, all-powerful God. Why would he be depressed? Well, unless it doesn't really matter what religious denomination you are, whether you're an atheist or an agnostic or a pantheist or a deist or anything like that. It has to do with your own mental state. No, it couldn't be that, could it? Because that would make you disingenuous, wouldn't it? Just as someone who is a Christian gets depressed, atheists get depressed, every single fucking group of people gets depressed. Now this is going to be a very hard thing to admit, especially seeing as how hard I've been on theists and religion in the past. But it's true, and I pride myself on being very open with my YouTube audience. I've had two massive lows in my life, and the first one came. I mean, I've been depressed before then, but this was the lowest point of my life up until this point. Was around 2007, and I won't go into the details. Suffice it to say, you know, it was the lowest point of my life, and you know, I'm out of it now, even though I've had, you know, very low points since then. But there was actually a time when I got up in the middle of the night, I couldn't get back to sleep because the thoughts were just too rampant in my head, and I was so restless. And I actually prayed. I did. I don't know why I did it. It just I was so lost, and I was so in a dark hole that anything I would have latched onto anything, no matter how I would think in my rational brain. When you're that low, that you will grab onto absolutely anything you can, no matter how unreasonable you think it would normally be. It's a completely different state of mind. I can look back on that now and realise how stupid I was, because who the hell was I praying to? But it was something that you can only really understand when you've been there yourself. But I eventually got out of it, and you know, for the most part, I'm happy. But again, it has nothing to do with my stance on God, just as my position on abortion or gay rights has anything to do with my depression. Neither does my stance on whether or not there is a God. You may not have had any meaning or purpose in your life, Sean, but I tell you what, I do. I have meaning and I have purpose in my life. I wake up and I know I've got so many things to look forward to, and even when I was at my lowest point, I still did not want to kill myself. And I'll tell you why. Because even when I was just the lowest I could possibly be, when I haven't eaten for days and days, when the thoughts were just so rampant, the only time it wouldn't stop was when I was asleep. And I mean, it would not stop until the second I drifted off, and it would start again the second that I got up, and I could not go back to sleep because I just could not switch my mind off. Even in the darkest times, I still wouldn't kill myself, because I knew there were still so many things that I loved in this life. I knew that I was going to get out of it. I knew it was a temporary thing. I couldn't see at the end. I knew that it was something that would pass, whether it took a week. I knew it was going to be hard, but I know it would pass because I've got through it before. But even then, I knew there were things that I loved. There are things that I loved then, and there are things that I love now. I wouldn't want to kill myself, because I know that those things would go away if I killed myself. If I committed suicide, I would never be able to listen to music. I would never be able to watch films. I would never be able to spend time with my friends, and All these wonderful things that maybe some people take for granted, I don't. I'm thankful for these things every single day. They are a reason for me to get up in the morning. People around me, the things that I surround myself with, and the people, they give me purpose, and they give me meaning in my life. I do not need a God for any of these things. Full disclosure, I have felt like I had a hole in my heart for a few years now, but I tell you what, it's been taken away ever since I found my fiance. All right, that's what I needed. I needed love. I did not need love from a all-powerful being. I just needed a love from a person, you know, an ordinary human being who loves me and who I love in return. That's what I was missing. It was love, but it was love from a very real source, not from some sort of supernatural source that I could never see or hear or touch. My fiance is one of the most important people in my life, and she has taken away that hole that was inside me, but that again has nothing to do with God. Even if I was to believe in a God right now and say, okay, I've become a Christian, it still would not take away my depression, because just because there being a God there would not take away from the things that do depress me right now. I may feel a bit better about death, but it doesn't change the fact that there are things in this life that are very real and that do depress me, and those things are not going to go away just because I think here that there is a God. They just will not do that. They're still going to be there, and I'm still going to have to deal with them, and that's just the way it is. I just find it hard to believe when anybody says things like this, and when they say that atheism has somehow corrupted people and it makes them depressed and things like that. It reminds me of when some theists say, well, I used to be atheist, as if that gives you any sort of authority on atheism. Just because you were depressed, Sean, doesn't mean that everyone is going to be, and just because you cannot think of a meaningful life without God, that's your own problem. I feel sorry for you that you can't see the wonder and the beauty in the world without some sort of omnibenevolent creator that has a specific plan laid out for you. I can see the beauty in the world. I see it every single day, and I do not need a creator to justify and to make all these things have meaning. Yes, I suffer from depression. That was there well before I had any sort of even before I considered myself an agnostic. I was this way. It's not anything that I'm going to be able to change just by saying, oh, well, that's it, I believe in God now. Wow, this is a long, rambly, terrible video. I probably got a little bit more personal than I actually wanted to do, but it's something that I really, this is a topic that I get very bothered about. I've heard that atheists have no morals, blah blah blah. That doesn't really bother me. I know where my morals come from, but when people talk about atheists being depressed and painting all of us with one brush, as if other groups, as if Christians don't get depressed, and as if atheism shows that there is no meaning, I just have to call false on their equivalency. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and not in what the beholder believes. Anyway, I better leave it there. If you got through this video, then I don't know, you deserve some sort of reward, because I don't think it really made much sense, but that's going to be my video for today. I thought I'd make at least something, because I've put up like 4 or 5 mirrors and I haven't made a video for a while, but cheerio everyone.